pleased to welcome Zach and Sean, whose hat I caught Zach's hat on my crutch yesterday. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? I mean, from my hip.
Good catch.
Yeah, it was a good catch, yeah. But they are here from Dustbowl Revival. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you here. So where you're from?
We're based in L.A., back in the States, in California.
Yeah, do you know, I'm so jealous because you put Cambridge into a song or Ely or Chatteris or whatever, it just doesn't sound the same. So you've got so many place names to write songs about and everything. But just define Dust Bowl for me, because there's a lot of things that come up as a Dust Bowl. And, for us, we might think, we've left our, catering stuff out in the wind and it's got a bit dusty or.
Well, I started the band over a decade ago. Like many folks, I packed all my belongings in a hatchback, and I went from Chicago and Michigan, where I went to school and grew up, and came out to California to seek my fame and fortune. But, it comes from that tradition, like in Grapes of Wrath, John Steinbeck, where... Yeah. There was this big disaster in the 30s during the Depression where there was a drought and basically half the country almost like blew away, just like these big dust storms. Yeah. And it forced a lot of people to go to California and change their lives. And I like the idea of having a revival, like a old school tent party sort of in any sort of place, like a desolate Dust Bowl wilderness. And L.A. especially is a melting pot of people from all over the world who kind of come there for various reasons to try to do something special. Yeah. Doesn't always work out, but I think we...
I would say you guys are working out.
Well, we're still doing
it. I would say
it.
too,
and we have some amazing new talent like LaShawn, who's joined us recently. So.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky enough to be watching part of your show yesterday between running around and doing different things. And you absolutely rocked it. You got so much energy in the band, and you got such a groove as well going. I mean, your bass player is something else, isn't he?
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Nick kills it on the bass.
And if your music was food, okay, let's get the dust off of that there. What would it be, do you think?
Charcuterie board.
I was just going to say that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like you got like some
salami,
some tasty meats. Maybe you got some cheese. You got some spicy things. Maybe
some
you got
olives.
Some tart little pickles. Yeah. It's a lot of dynamic range. Sometimes we.
But it all goes together.
Yeah, we play these big sort of brass New Orleans style songs, and then we have these folk songs that are kind of the bedrock of the band. Yeah. I think if you can't play a song just acoustically out, on your front porch, like it's hard to imagine, I think, how music can be otherwise for me.
Yeah. And your first time at Cambridge?
Yeah.
What do you think so far?
I love it. Yeah.
It's really beautiful. You got California weather right now.
Yes, we have. Yeah, thank you for bringing the sunshine. Right, we are going to play The Exception very shortly, in about a minute's time. So tell us about this song.
Yeah, it was a song that we left off our last record, Is It You, Is It Me, partially because it wasn't fully finished and we needed someone to really add some vocal strength to it. And I've been a big fan of the Secret Sisters for a long time.
Yes.
And so we got them to record their vocals down in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and so they joined us on it, and we have them and some of the band sort of together doing this song about finding your place in the world no matter where you are. And I think during lockdowns especially, you had to almost make an entire universe out of your block radius that you lived. So that was sort of when that song was being written.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people have made their own little Zen spaces within their houses, haven't they? To kind of chill out with. Made any of those?
Slowly moving in with my boyfriend, so his space is mine.
There's another story that's going to happen there from Sean. Okay, let's hear the track, and then when we get into the next hour, we're going to be hearing from Dustbowl Revival live. I'm so enjoying myself because it's so lovely to talk to real people as opposed to the cat sitting on my lap when I'm under my stairs recording my show. Dustbowl Revival are here. Well, two of them. We got Sean and Zach, and as I said earlier, they played such a rocking set yesterday. They're going to do another one today, but they're going to be playing live for us in a minute. But let's find a little bit more out about Sean. So you've just joined the band.
Yeah, I'm the new lady singer.
Yeah. So where have you come from, and what's your background?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Riverside, California, Southern California. So I'm used to the hot weather. Yeah, I'm just happy to be here. I've never been to the UK, and everyone's treated us really well. So
yeah, and you've got a magnificent hair, I have to say.
Thank you. My mom did it.
Did she?
Yeah.
Beautiful plaits and
yeah.
it's just gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what about your singing career?
Started singing in high school. Started a band in high school, and then I was in marching band. And then started singing vocally. After in college, mostly I was in a cappella.
Yeah.
Much like Pitch Perfect. That was
that
was my college experience, pretty much. Yeah.
Aka, wonderful. It's just lovely. It's just the favorite films.
Yeah. And my friend Connor, who I went to college with, actually got me to be in the band.
Wow.
Yeah, he used to play fiddle for us. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was your impression that when you heard her sing, Zach?
We've been really lucky throughout the years in that when someone decides to step back or step away from the band, someone magically appears who's, a perfect fit. And, this band has a lot of different sounds.
Yeah.
And I think you can tell pretty quickly if it's going to work or not. And we tried a couple shows like in 2019, I want to say.
Yeah.
And it was just so much fun that it was like, let's do this,
Yeah. And I'm so happy that you've managed to kind of roll over and be here with us in 2022, because I remember, listening to your music when it was 2019, it was all supposed to be happening, and like, no, was that easy for you? Because every band musician and that started doing live streams and trying to survive. So,
Yeah, obviously it was a tough time for many touring bands. I think in some ways 2020 was an interesting time for us because you didn't have the pressure on you anymore. You could kind of sit back and write some stuff at home and sort of recharge your batteries a little bit. I think the scary thing was just not knowing if you were going to have the ability to play real music for people in a public setting for months, years.
Yeah.
It's really like our favorite thing to do, and it's your livelihood, for a lot of us. So it's hard enough as it is to make a living as a musician, and then when basically it's illegal to do it. We started doing this thing called Sway at Home, which was like our own little music fest online where we're like, we'll do one of them. And then we did 5 of them because it kept going and going.
Yeah.
We had about 40 different artists from around the world play with us. And it was sort of like recreating a little bit what Cambridge is doing here. So
that's great.
I'd rather do it here,
Yeah.
than on the internet. But
yeah, well, we'd rather have you here as well. But should anything else untoward happen, heaven forbid, that you've got something. And I think it bred a lot of creativity with people, and also to be able to connect with their audience as well, because that's what we all want, isn't it? That's,
Yeah.
yeah. And people kind of now tune into those people they've discovered during that time when they had time to discover other things.
Absolutely.
Have you found that your fan base has gone up?
Well, I think in some ways, yes, but in some ways, people are still not quite coming out to the clubs yet, which has been frustrating because a lot of people are like, I can't wait to come see you, but I'm not going to see you there.
Yeah.
But I think that's why the festivals are so important, because people feel more comfortable being outside. They can, have a weekend with their family and do interesting things, see a bunch of bands that they like. But I think, you got to tell people to actually still support bands that aren't already famous at some of the clubs around town, or the clubs and the bands won't survive.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a whole thing in the UK that there's a lot of venues that used to have bands, don't have bands anymore, and that's damaging. Is it the same in America?
Definitely some venues went out of business for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I know Troubadour was the bootleg went out of business.
Yeah,
Wow.
some of the ones that had a lot of bands every night, they just they couldn't make it. I think luckily some of the most important ones, it would have been a national outrage, I think, if a place like the Troubadour in LA where we play, would have gone under. But I think music is so important to people. It's just a matter of like remembering that it is sometimes.
Yeah.
That you have to like actually make an effort and buy a ticket and go and support
Yeah.
the bands you like. You know.
Absolutely. And, when I was growing up, when I was just a girl, and I know I don't look old enough, but music was so important because it was on the radio all the time, and it was very eclectic and that kind of thing. And I feel that if less and less people are kind of maybe, hopefully they're still tuning into radio, but if they're not, then they will go towards people's channels and things.
Yeah,
So making that connection is thing. And also social media seems to be having such an impact, doesn't it? And thank goodness we had it during lockdown. Otherwise, we would have gone bananas. There's only so much sort of TV you can watch.
Yeah.
But vinyl, of course, is a great revival as well. Have you put anything else out on vinyl yet?
Yeah, we're lucky that our new record, it's a double vinyl, and we pretty much ran out of them in the States, but they had some in England.
Yeah.
So they saved the day, and we will have them at here at Cambridge Folk Fest and around the UK while we're touring. So
yeah, fantastic. So where are you off to after here?
we're playing Underneath the Stars.
Yeah.
In where's it? Yorkshire.
Yeah, Yorkshire. Yeah.
On Sunday, and then we're going to Bristol and
Shoreham by the Sea.
Oh, lovely.
and Snape.
Snape Maltings.
Yeah.
Oh, you will love it there. It's the most beautiful, beautiful place. As much as Cambridgeshire is lovely, Suffolk has a place in my heart, and Snape is just absolutely beautiful. And just the vista and everything there is just gorgeous. Oh, when are you playing Snape?
Our last day.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
See you there.
Well, I'm just thinking I need to look in my social diary to see what I'm doing. I'm excited. Anyway, what a rocking set you played. And as you say, it is a real charcuterie board of music that you perform, because you've got the brass in the band. You've got Sean, who can move like a diva.
Thank you. Well, the stage is big enough. I'm like, I need to take advantage of all of this.
Absolutely. And then Zach, who he's a powerhouse, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a pneumatic drill going at it out there. It's fantastic. So I will now allow you to play us a track, please, a live set. So what are you going to play for us?
Yeah, so we just put out a new song called Lying to Myself.
Yes.
That was one of those tunes that we'd been trying to record for 5 years, and it never made its way onto an album. It was like our white whale, like in Moby Dick.
Yeah.
And we work with an amazing producer who's actually British, Ted Hutt, who does Dropkick Murphys and Old Crow Medicine Show and folks like that. And he sort of convinced us to keep looking at this song and change the rhythm around a little bit. And if you ever had a relationship that was breaking up and you had to figure out what you were going to do with the dog that you shared, this goes out to you.
Thank you for that. Here they are live on Cambridge 105 Radio. It's Dustbowl Revival.
Oh, 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 everybody know. Oh, oh's every time I try to go, you're always waiting, waiting, waiting. I got tired of all your lying. I started lying to myself. You desired was a man inside your head. I started lying to myself. More than a head case, darling. Who am I fooling? So was I. Oh, 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 everybody know. Oh, oh's every time I try to go, you're always waiting, waiting, waiting. I kept trying, and you kept sleeping in his bed while I was lying to myself. Ooh, we fell in love with a pit bull, baby. We were like refugees in our own house. 3 cheers for us, 3 musketeers. I was moving in, you were moving out. Oh, 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 time I try to go, you're always waiting, waiting, waiting. Ooh, every time you run away, ooh, I try to make you stay, and ooh, you're growing now, you're showing now, and ooh, it's not mine, and you know it. Oh, 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 everybody know. Oh, oh's every time I try to go, you're always waiting.
Ooh, Dustbowl Revival live
you.
here.
Thanks.
Oh, fantastic! Oh my goodness, Zach, I've got to ask you.
Yeah.
What's your background? You know, did you suddenly were you singer-songwriter and then thought I'm going to have a band?
Well, I grew up playing in bands in Chicago, kind of played in like punk rock and blues and rock and roll stuff, and then went to college in Michigan, and I was going to be more of like a writer in theater and movies and stuff, went to school for film and stuff.
Right, yeah.
But the band was always the most fun thing I did at night, and kind of the thing I was most obsessed with. And then, moved out to L.A., and the story goes, I put an ad on Craigslist. Do they have Craigslist in the UK?
No, Craigslist. What's Craigslist?
It's like a online sort of...
musician hunting thing.
not just for musicians, it's for like everything. Like when you want to sell your couch or like
Oh, right.
meet a girl
Or find your love of your life.
I thought everybody used eBay. You know, it's like
if you find a girlfriend on eBay, I think
Oh, right.
probably illegal. But I think
Yeah.
the thing was like you would basically post if you wanted to get together with some people. And
Yeah.
The joke is that I said if you play, clarinet or guitar or mandolin or bass or trumpet or trombone, like all these instruments, and the first 10 people that contacted me were saxophone players,
Yeah.
which I had no interest in getting together with. Then eventually we had, an interesting group of different people, all different ages.
Yeah.
We would kind of get together in my advertising office when I worked a regular job after hours, and then I got laid off, and then basically we started getting festivals and stuff around, and kind of were off to the races.
Brilliant. But do you know what? You've worked so hard at it all, and you're so great when you're out there on stage. I just think, superstar and upwards, let's go to the moon and back.
From your mouth
Absolutely.
to God's ears.
Absolutely.
Is that how that
Yeah,
phrase
Yeah,
goes?
that's
it's
how
all
it
cosmic.
works.
I think so. Now then, over there is the Cosmic Camper. It's 1982. It's air-cooled, and it's a bit like Doctor Who's TARDIS. You know about that time machine?
Yeah.
Where would you like to go? Forward, backwards in time, whatever. Who wants to go first?
Forward.
Yeah? Do you? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think I'm a black woman and I'm in America. So things before now were pretty awful for me and people that looked like me. So yeah, anytime forward would be great.
You're just one of those beautiful people, aren't you? Isn't she gorgeous?
Except that in our country, we like to do 2 steps forward, 1
Yeah.
really far back. 2 steps forward,
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 way back.
When you get to Snape, you're just going to want to stay there. You really are.
I think I would, if I could see some of the greats in their heyday, like in the 60s, I would do it.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to like some concerts with my dad, like Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix,
Yeah.
Queen.
Oh.
These people that like he could just go see casually,
Yeah.
just for like $5.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
They were just another band at that time,
But yeah, I stood for 5 hours when I was pregnant to see Queen because I didn't want, you know when you're somewhere and people are waiting.
Yeah.
And I just stood there for 5 hours and my feet were imprinted in my shoes. But it was
Yeah.
fantastic. I just love Freddie Mercury. It was great.
Yeah.
So that gives me an insight to some of your influences that you've
Yeah.
gone through there. You've got so much showmanship as well. So, it's just like onward and upward, I think, for you guys.
Yeah.
I
Thank
want to
you.
say a big thank you. And if people want to find you online,
Dustbowlrevival.com, and we're going to be basically putting out a new single each month
Brilliant.
coming up. So, we're on Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff. So.
yeah, you have to be these days, don't you?
Yeah.
What a joy it's been to have you here live
Yeah,
on
thanks for having us.
Cambridge 105 Radio. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sean and Zach, Dustbowl Revival. Woo!